This is everybody's day. This is everybody's day. Time we begin to yearn beyond. I want to be there. So I want it to be about me. That's what an appearance is about. What heaven begins to do is to furnish us with encounters. These encounter pathways are diverse. They come as hearings. They come as articulated hearings. That means you can hear in a language that you can understand. Sometimes they come as unarticulated hearings. We call them non-cognitive sounds. It means you cannot say at the instance that this is what he said, yet you will not be able to deny that you heard him. What did God say to you? I actually don't know, but God spoke to me. For such unarticulated hearings, the hearing man is sentenced into a prayer of inquiry, where he begins to seek the Spirit, who is the such functionary in the Godhead, so that he can come into the details of what God is saying. Sometimes God decides to be more graphic, and then he begins to furnish the seeking man with visions. With visions. These visions come in diverse manners. Sometimes they look film-like, where you can actually track all that is happening. Sometimes they just come in flashes, impressions on the heart. You know it's visionary. God showed me something, and if you are not sensitive, you will just know that your heart was furnished with a picture. You might not really see it. You will not appreciate such flash visions until God puts you into the waters of impartation, where what you see in an instant may be the difference between you're standing and waiting for God to speak and you minister. So a man comes suddenly and says, I see a trumpet. I think that was a mina. I see 5 trumpets, and there are 5 golden trumpets. New golden trumpets. Now, if you listen to the recording, it was progressive, because it was 5 trumpets, and then as that flash began to speak itself, the trumpets were golden. They were new golden trumpets, suggestive of a prophetic dimension, but 5 prophets that had never prophesied before, because they are new. All you saw was a flash, 5 trumpets. If you have not been wired to travel with a flash, you will stand in front of people and it will look as if you are empty. There are film-like ones that you can watch for a long time. There are flash ones. There are also times when the urgency of the season makes God bring you beyond sight into an experience, like a trance, where you are not just watching a movie, but you are in the movie. You are in the movie. You can feel, you can touch. Sometimes when you wake up, you still have the experiences of what you have felt. Encounters, diverse ones. Sometimes you are brought into the realm of the spirit to interact with spirits. All because there is a craving beyond I attended to I appeared. And sometimes he decides not to take men that far into the realm of the spirit, allow spirits to come into the realms of men. So that you say something like, I was in my room and Elijah came to me, and we are wondering, Elijah came to this room. Said he came. He came. Everybody may disbelieve you, but the tokens of that experience are all over you, that you saw somebody. In diverse ways, he encounters men. It is not wisdom spiritually, therefore, to try and nose God down into a particular route of encounters. That, Lord, what I want you to do is to speak to me, is to be childish. Lord, what I want you to do is to show me now, is to be childish. Because God has gained mastery of communications, and he knows how to bring an encounter that will furnish the reality that he wants to communicate. However, the problem is not the place of encounters, it's how men retain the encounters in the earth realm. Because when you saw what you saw and heard what you heard, there was a kind of life that you instantly began to live, but after 2 weeks. We are going to be praying about the conference, but our labor is to retain what we receive. There will be meetings and there will still be many meetings. The problem is that every time we give God the opportunity of a meeting, even if it is our will, because there are some sincere people who attend the meeting, even if you concocted a meeting from the confines of your soul, say, Daniel, let's just do something. You know, we can be gisting that there's a concert in Lagos, they call it the experience, or there's some other name they call it concert. And now say, let's do under G experience. Such things can happen even to the best of believers, where you suddenly step out of your... Sit down, please. I didn't want to break what I was saying by saying sit down, since it's the song that we're singing that is making me say what I'm saying. So that we can decide, let's have under G experience, and we gather ourselves together. And then we begin to do something. But because some sincere people decided that they wanted to be part of this thing, they felt that it was actually a genuine attempt by God to bring an experience to men. God decides to look for some bit of space in that soulish engagement, and he crams himself into it. Somebody is saying in their heart, how can God cram himself into little space? Ask Mary. How did God, who made the heavens and the earth, who has sentenced the earth not to exist as a throne but a footstool? You need to understand how big his feet are, or his feet are. He decides to compress himself and stay in a womb. And the pregnancy was not ectopic. What I mean by being ectopic is that if the womb is small, sometimes the baby can grow outside the womb. The womb contained him.